Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Bear It All podcast. So we have here today a lifestyle and socio-political content creator. We have here today Janina Vela. Thank you so much for your time, Janina.
course.
I'm so happy that you're here and I get to sit down with you. I've known Janina
Yes.
since she was young because her dad used to be my church pastor. And I was telling her before we started that her dad is a really big part of my relationship with God. He's the one who strengthened that relationship with God when I was so young. I think 12 years old.
Yeah. I actually remember going to your birthday party. Yeah. Around that age nga.
I've seen you and your brothers grow up, and again, your dad is a really big factor of the things that I went through before, and he really helped me through it. He always had the right things to say to me when I needed it the most. So I'm very grateful. That's why for me, full circle to that I get to have you here on the podcast.
So happy to be here.
And naiintriga din talaga ako sa'yo. Kasi I didn't know you like this because nga
Yeah.
you were young when I met you. So I really didn't know that you're this insanely smart. And so you start conversations that a lot of influencers are actually very scared to talk about.
Thank
Diba?
you so much.
What I really want to know though, what made you start doing content? Was this your intention talaga na when I start content, this is the content that I'm gonna do, or it just happened?
You can check YouTube if you don't believe me. There was a lot of like beauty content
Yes.
and room tours and
That's what I
school
saw.
vlogs.
And then
Yeah.
it got serious.
And then
yeah,
and then
it got
suddenly like, oh, what
serious.
happened?
Parang your college life and
Yeah.
you were parang condo living at that time. Tama
Yeah.
ba ako?
Yeah. So I started super chill because I was a kid.
Yes.
You know? So those are the things that I wanted to talk about as a 15-year-old
Old.
girl.
Yeah.
That's what I loved. But I think we all know that as you grow older, your loves change.
Yes.
And your passions change and my priorities changed. And as I stepped into the world, I think it opened up for me. But I also opened my heart to be changed by the world.
Oh, that's
And I really was.
Yeah.
You know, I always say this now, but I was stuck in the four corners of my wall for so long, and I was homeschooled. So yes, I was quite literally, right? I was stuck in that for a bit, and then my walls were broken down, and I saw the Philippines for what it was, the good and the bad,
Wow.
and that's why we're here.
So, what was the course initially that you wanted to take? Was it right off the bat, political science?
When I was a kid, I wanted to take theater.
Of course, ako nga fashion design
Yeah,
eh.
diba?
Hello,
Like
let's
that's
face
part of
facts.
it.
Oo.
That's so cute. Did you end up taking?
I did. But I wasn't able to graduate. So, I took a fashion design for about 4 years. So, hindi ko pa natapos. But I prioritized content creator.
Yeah,
I
diba?
prioritized my work. Because at the time, I felt like there were new ones coming out like every month. There were new influencers coming out every month. And I was like, if I'm peaking and this is my time, I can't miss this opportunity. Like I can always go back to school. But I always had that regret that I wish I finished. And I still can though. I'm actually planning to go back to school because I have a business, so I want to take up something that's related to it.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
But okay, so anyway, going back to you. So when you decided to take political science, what was your expectations? Like what did you want out from it? Because I know that some people who take up political science tend to have a political career after.
Yeah.
Did it ever cross your mind, or you just really wanted to know more of what's happening in the world?
Yeah, that's a great question because when I decided to take political science, I was studying in the mayor's office in Pasig because I
Wow.
had volunteered to intern there after Vico won his first mayoral campaign. Because during that campaign season, I was like, "Hey, what do you need?" Because he's from Victory, right?
Yes,
Like, what
of
do you
course,
need?
Tita Connie.
Yeah, and they were so like gera lang. They were just riding in the back of a pickup,
Yes.
driving around Pasig. It's like, what do you need? He doesn't have photo video. I was like, sure,
I'll
your
do it,
girl.
yeah.
So it was just like me like following him around in the
Oh.
in the random barangays of Pasig, and then I asked like, can I like work for you in your first 6 months? He's like, sure.
Yes.
So so I did that for a bit, and while I was studying, everybody was telling me like, "Oh, like why are you taking pol sci? Like that's a dead end course. Like
Wow.
that's this is it now for
What a
you."
way to discourage someone.
Like, oh,
Okay.
lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much. But I took it anyway because, and I this is something that I always want people to understand is just because I'm political doesn't mean I'm going to be a politician.
Hmm.
Um and I think we get that wrong, is that just because somebody cares about the country, it doesn't mean that it's
You
going to
have
be
to
their
run.
yeah, it
Mm-mm.
doesn't mean it's going to be their profession.
Yeah.
I think my point of at least my presence in this space is I can look like me, I can love what I want and care about the country at the same time. Like I
Because
feel
you
like
should care about your
because
country.
anybody with any kind of passion,
Yes, you
any kind of
should.
so they don't have to negate each other, right? So I could be the bubbly, enthusiastic beauty vlogger that I was, that I am, and I can,
Yeah, kasi parang naging stereotype no? Pag
Yeah.
beauty blogger ka lang, kailangan beauty blogger ka lang ng time or vlogger ka lang ng time na yon. Parang if you venture out, parang people are like, huh? But that's
Yeah.
not your branding. But that's the thing. We're vloggers because we share our life. And studying political science is part of your life.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of grew from there.
Exactly. And humans are so complex like that, right? I don't think we should ever, place somebody in the box now, okay, just because this is how you started, this is how you'll be, and
Yeah.
just because this is what you care about, this is all you can care about for the rest of your life.
Amen. Amen.
Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So at the time when you, can I ask, because I know that every single person who has content about politics tend to get a lot of bashing from the
course.
opposing side. And did you get a lot of that?
Yeah. I present tense.
Oh, until now.
yeah,
Okay,
I do get
until
a lot
now.
of that.
Yes. And how did that make you feel, being that you were homeschooled and
Yeah.
you weren't really used to that kind of life na sobrang public and it's open to criticisms eh.
Yeah.
It's normally pag homeschool ka kasi it's very controlled, diba? The environment. And for the first time, your life is now open to the public, to them to criticize whatever you're saying, have an opinion on whatever your life is. So what was that first, let's say the first comment that you've read, that how did you react to it?
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was?
Actually, yeah, we were just I was just talking about it with your team.
Oh.
Because I remember when I posted the water shortage
Yeah.
mini video explainer, a lot of the comments were like, "Ba't ka nagikisaw-saw?"
Oh.
That's always the question. That was always the
Ba't
the
sila
comment.
nakikisaw-saw?
Oh, diba?
Pwede mo ibalik yung tanong eh. Bakit ikaw
Ikaw.
pwede? Diba? Ba't ikaw pwede, ba't ako hindi?
Yeah, exactly. So that was a lot of it, and there was a lot of, I don't exactly remember what they were saying, but the general consensus was, "What are you doing?
Okay.
Like, you're a girl, you're a beauty vlogger,
You see
like."
the stereotypes.
Yeah, and you're young. You're young. You're a girl and a beauty vlogger. Why are you talking about this? And I remember the legit feeling, because it's like when your body gets so hot.
Yeah.
Like I feel like my heart sinks into my stomach, and I get hot and I get a little bit sweaty.
Yeah.
And it just feels so heavy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess my parents just raised me to be a fighter.
Yes.
So after I got those comments, right, I came out with just more political videos. Like,
Yes.
ayaw nyo.
Oh,
Bam, bam,
boom.
bam, bam.
Bahala kay mainis. May kisaw-saw ako hanggat gusto ko.
I know. So that's literally what I did. I was like, okay, well, I will even, whenever there were like suggestions and critiques, I will still take them, and then I'll just do better next time, and I'll flood them with more content that they
Yeah.
didn't ask for, but for some reason they still watch.
Yes.
Yeah. So
But
I
you used your platform for me correctly.
oh, thank you so much.
Because at this day and age, especially now with what's going on with the world, we need more people who actually can start conversations and let people think that okay, so what you're reading is actually not true.
Yeah.
This is what's going on. Like, we need more people of this generation, especially after the campaign, the last elections from Ma'am Lenny's campaign. We already saw that the youth had a lot of part
Yeah.
in that movement. And then it started from the campaign of Senator Bam and Senator Kiko. And we were talking about it with Senator Bam, that the youth really showed up.
Yeah.
And if, for me I think you were one of the people that actually helped bring that in for the youth, because your audience, I'm pretty sure, was part of that. If you think about it, like each of us that showed up, our generation, whoever is watching us or whoever was looking up to us, sumali yan.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure meron tayong nakuha dyan. Meron tayong na-recruit. And only because you were, that I told you kanina, you were only talking about facts.
Yeah.
And truth hurts. With what's going on with the world, truth hurts, right? Okay. So, you have this, I think, the pinaka-controversial one that I saw sa'yo, because I saw you in the news, was the one when the last elections. When you were making that video, what was going through your head? I'm sure you expected it.
Yeah. No, I was with all of the backlash, I had to decide, okay, are you going to run from this, or are you going to figure out how you can face it?
Yeah.
Right? So I had to figure out, okay, how do I show up this way? Because I know that the comments are going to come. And so the question is always, is it worth it for you?
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna come. Can you do it even if?
Yeah.
Right. And so thankfully, I most of the time I answer a yes to myself. But my mom always asked me before, is your heart ready?
I love that question.
Yeah. That was always, is your heart ready? Are you in the right space to do this? Because it's very, very controversial.
Yes.
It's extremely
But
controversial.
because I also feel that your faith was very strong.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the Lord will put you in this position and the platform that you have if gagamitan mo lang siya for, I'm sorry for the word, stupid things. Or you're not gonna actually help people with something. Influencers are, kaya nga yung word influencer,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be an influential person. And I think it's being misused. Do you agree that sometimes being an influencer now, hindi na misuse na yon, hindi na nila alam yung responsibility ng pagiging influencer?
Yeah.
You forget that the people that watch you actually look up to you. Some of them want to be you. They listen to what you have to say. And you can change a lot of minds, perspective, and, and some people use it not for the right reasons. Social media, I think, did that.
Yeah.
Parang naging, social media has become a playground of a lot of things, but mostly cancel culture. I actually want your opinion on that. What's your opinion on cancel culture?
I think, cancel culture. First of all, I don't like it that it's a culture. I think there are times where I see people who are well-meaning get canceled for making a mistake.
Yeah.
And I saw that a lot during the elections. I knew these people, and in my head, candidly, I was like, why are we making these people scared to speak up again, where they would have been our ally?
Yeah.
If we just corrected.
Yes.
If we
yes.
just lovingly taught them how to do better next time, right? Because I feel like cancel culture doesn't give people any second chances. Which I don't think is good for anybody, because even for the wielder of that power, it's not healthy to think, oh, you made a mistake, you're done. Because are you going to unconsciously take that principle also to yourself? Now, okay, if the standards are so high for this person, then maybe they feel like the standards are so high for themselves as well, right? I remember I was just on TikTok, and there's this host that everybody loves, this wedding host that everybody loves, and she made a mistake in terms of her logistics. And suddenly, from everybody loving her,
Everybody hates her.
everybody hates her now. And I find it so insane how people just
Shift.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
shift just like that. So we see the bad sides of the bad sides of cancel culture. But I do want to say, if I were to repackage it, I would just say, just deplatform them. Just unfollow them.
Yeah.
I feel like hate is, you know how people say like bad press is still good press?
Yeah.
And that's like the hard thing, because when you're hating on somebody who loves like the attention,
It doesn't really work.
it doesn't really work. You know what will get their attention though is if their followers are going down, because it's a public distrust. Like if you don't trust them anymore, then unfollow them.
Yeah.
Stop liking their stuff. Stop commenting. Because when they realize that nobody wants to listen to them for these opinions that are so harmful, then maybe, hopefully, right, they start to think.
Yeah.
So I think there's more power in choosing to unfollow and choosing to block and choosing not to
Yeah.
comment and not to like anymore. Because that's how we can really get our point across. And that's from coming from an influencer.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
No, true, because it matters to us. Parang yun yung branding kasi natin. So
Yeah.
pag tinanggal mo yun, then you're removing power. And that
Exactly.
hurts more.
Yes.
So if you're just canceling a person for a mistake, ako kasi ang cancel culture, kasi my family has been subjected to this for so long.
Of course. Yeah.
Every single time. And I always feel like people are allowed to make mistakes. And who are you to call them out over something that you could possibly do, or probably you've done it.
Yes.
It's just not publicly. Parang ang hypocrite for me to have to call out someone for being human.
Yeah.
And you're stripping that away from someone na parang, okay, so are you telling me kapag nagkakamali ako, masama na akong tao, hindi na
Yeah.
ako pupunta sa heaven, hindi na ako mabuting tao. And that's what people do The once someone is canceled, they dig deep into their lives, even if it's not related, to why they're being canceled. For some reason, they just love to hate. And it's so sad because I thought the Filipinos are actually known for being
The happy,
resilient,
yeah.
happiest people on earth. But how come lahat ng issues naging, bakit puro hate?
Yeah.
There's one time I actually just stopped using social media for a while because I felt like it was so heavy already to watch these people who actually made the difference in our country at one point, and then all of a sudden they're the most hated person on earth.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you go back from that? How do they trust you again with their lives?
Yeah.
It's so hard. Ako, I there was a comment for me that kind of made me hold back with sharing so much about my life. I tend to share a lot on my vlog, but there was one time that they were hitting on my kids. My kid that has mild autism. So hard talaga. To a point that they were commenting in other moms'
Oh my
platform to hate
gosh.
on my kid. After that, I stopped sharing her for a while because I feel like, okay, you don't get to do that to my daughter because wala nang magawa yung anak ko eh. Alam mo yun? It's like, so I stopped for a while and then I shared her again recently. And then, basta parang for me, every time I see that, parang natatanggal sa akin yung joy of what I do. And I hate it because I love my job. And I think the cancel culture has made me love it less. You know, so, but I chose this platform, which is,
No, but I will say that no happy, secure person will hate on another person. Like,
you're projecting insecurity.
yeah, I mean, even if and because I'm even guilty of this sometimes, where it's so easy and it feels good to poke holes in somebody else's success because it kind of makes you feel better about like, well, they have it, but what they have naman is not that good. So it makes me feel a little better that I don't have what they have. And I feel like that's cancel culture.
Yeah.
Sometimes, right? Obviously, it's different for like political and other
Yeah,
issues.
yeah,
But for stuff like that, where it's just downright wrong.
Yeah.
It's just so much easier na, for somebody to see a life that they want. Pero hindi naman siya ganun kaganda.
Or
but
or parang kanina, diba, we're talking about stereotypes. Sometimes when they see mga influencers who do this, it's more of like, dapat ito ka lang.
yeah.
Huwag ka nga alis dyan sa box mo na yan. Kasi kaya ka namin fina-follow dahil ito yung gusto namin ginagawa mo. But what if you want to explore? And then they take it against you if you want to explore. Or you unlock, like ikaw, you're very smart. So now you want to share about everything you've learned from, because you're a political science student. So you want to educate people about the government. And then they say, why? Bata ka pa.
Yeah.
Pero bakit hindi? Diba? Pilipino ka naman. Na-experience mo naman yung water shortage na yon. So bakit hindi mo siya pwedeng pag-usapan? Diba?
Exactly.
I think we always get put in a box and ito lang yung mga pwede mong sabihin, ito lang yung hindi mo pwede sabihin. Pero bakit? 'Di ba? When does it stop? Like, um, you're kind of removing that freedom from each of us that we get to share our experiences and actually live. Kasi 'di ba pa when you follow someone, you want to follow their journey.
Yeah.
So kung hanggang dito ka lang, wag mo na lang ako i-follow.
That's true. Yeah.
Ayun. So anyway, parang naglalabas na rin ata ako ng sama ng loob dito sa podcast na to.
It's okay. I'm here for it, girl.
Naglalabas na rin ako ng sama ng loob. Okay. This one. Was there fear in sharing all of these very controversial topics, especially knowing that the internet can be harsh? So what do you think, why do you think it's important for creators to talk about issues like this? Why is it so important for creators to actually make a stand? Like, what's your opinion on that?
Okay. Well, everybody always asks me this, and I get so pressured because I don't want to speak for other
Speak for
creators.
yourself.
Yeah. So I think I'll speak for myself and my own journey. Because, you know, being a political science student and doing all of these rallies and protests, and, you know, and outreaches, I think I keep mentioning that the privilege that I have, I can't ignore it and I can't pretend that it doesn't exist. The privilege that I have in the house that I grew up in, the job that I have, to be able to do what I'm passionate about and have it pay, you know, right? The resources that I have, the education that I was able to get. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bragging. The point is, I can't not speak up with all of these things that I have. Like, I came from the EDSA rally, and there are people who had, you know, less opportunities than I had, much harder life, much more complicated childhood than I had, and yet they were there, more fiery, smarter, more eloquent than I could ever be, but they were present, right?
Yes.
So I look at those people, and I think, ang kapal na mukha mo, Janina, to not use your platform for good, to not use all of these damn resources for good, when, you know, I feel like God blessed me with this platform for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the person who wastes it.
Yeah. So do you honestly believe that a lot of people waste it? I have a stand with that.
I like skirted around.
Yep. I love it because I can say it, because I know that a lot of people do misuse it. And like, you can't just have a platform and use it for, hindi pwedeng may limit ka eh. Kasi influencer ka eh. Then kapag may limit ka, ibig sabihin hindi ka influencer.
Yeah.
Kasi para saan yung platform mo? Para magyabang ba? Para mag-share sa mga meron ka? Sa mga mahal na bagay na meron ka? O sa magandang buhay na meron ka? Kung yun lang, parang for me, hindi dapat influencer ang tawag doon. 'Di ba? Kasi kung nag-i-influence ka ng tao, dapat nag-i-influence ka ng tao sa maraming aspeto sa buhay mo. Whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
'Di ba? You get to share that. Hindi ka natatakot. Pag natatakot ka to share your stand on something, lalo na if it will help people change their minds about especially what's going on with the world, then you think to yourself na parang, ay, okay, so kung wala kang stand, aabangan mo yung pina-follow mong tao eh. Ano kaya stand niya?
Yeah.
'Di ba? Ano kayang opinion niya sa mga nangyari? Kung wala, parang ikaw as a person that follows that, nati-disappoint ka rin. Kasi noong time na yan, na-disappoint din ako sa lahat ng mga tao that I look up to that didn't make a stand. Mas nirespeto ko pa nga yung nag-make ng stand kahit opposing eh.
Yeah.
Kasi at least yun, they showed kung bakit nila fina-follow yung tao na yun or kung bakit yun yung stand nila. But for those who kept quiet kasi, it's more for a reason na ayaw nilang mabash. Gets ko naman yun. But may platform ka kasi.
Yeah.
Ang daming naka-follow sa'yo.
And you have, and like, you know, I would try to justify other people, you know, other creators before. And obviously, because I love these people, they're my friends, right?
Yes.
This is my community.
Yes.
I would try to justify why people were remaining to stay silent when the Philippines is obviously...
Oh, nagkakagulo.
Yeah, right? But I'm coming to a point where I just feel like there's no excuse anymore. Because some people will say, oh, well, I'm not like educated or I'm not eloquent that way. Girl, there's AI.
Actually, dependent na nga tayo
Yeah,
dyan
I
eh.
mean, like,
Oo.
girl, you can find the best places to visit in Japan in like 1 minute.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can, research what is going on
Going
in the
on with the
Philippines. What are the
world.
policies that need to be passed? What was the recent issue in the Malacanang? These are things that there's just no excuse anymore because technology is there for you to be educated,
Yeah.
for you to be informed, and for you to be able to do, just to empower you to do whatever you want
Yes.
to do. So if you really wanted to, you could.
Yeah.
And if you really wanted to, talk to me.
Oo nga. Ang dami niyang alam.
Message me.
Oo. Ang
Like
dami niyang
I
alam.
would love to help you craft this thing, or figure this side out. And it doesn't mean you have to change your whole content, right?
Yeah. Oo.
It's just what's the nearest advocacy that's close to your heart, and we'll start there. You don't have to tackle the president like right away,
Yeah.
right? Or you don't have to go to the ICC or anything
Oo,
like that.
oo.
But just start by caring for the Filipino.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
Yeah, because Pilipino ka din naman.
Yeah.
You live here. Taxpayer ka rin. Chances are, di ba? So,
Chances are,
di ba?
hopefully naman.
Hopefully taxpayer ka.
Diba?
And if kung direct right off the bat, damay ka na dun eh.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Right off the bat, damay ka na dun. So, dapat alam mo kung ano yung nangyayari sa mundo. Kasi kung ako, pag hindi mo alam yung nangyayari sa kung saan ka where you live, or the country that you're in, it's like, what are you doing? Because it's everywhere. Every platform. So, if you're not in the know or if you don't wanna know, sayang naman. 'Di ba? You should be aware. At least be aware.
Yeah.
Sige, sabihin natin huwag ka nang magsalita. Pero at least man lang, be aware. 'Di ba? Okay, so I'll just shift muna. I think we've spoken about politics more. Let's go more on...
Yeah, I think I was briefed on a different topic.
Oo nga eh. Ito na. Pag-uusapan na natin. So, you started this conversation about hyper-independence.
Yeah.
Can you educate me about it? Because I'm actually not familiar. What is hyper-independence?
Yeah, well, I think I came from like a post-millennial, pre-Gen Z era where it was, I am a strong, independent woman. I don't need no man. And that was really like a very, I used to say that a lot. And I think we've unfortunately embodied that a lot. Where, okay, kaya ko on my own. I'll just do it by myself. And that has leaked into so many parts of our society. From even cultivating friendships where cutting people off is the knee-jerk reaction, right? Or even just, there's the new saying, right? I think I made a video on this where you have to be a villager to have a village. And we're not a society anymore, or at least we're trying to rebuild that, to be a people who are villagers, right? Who care for one another, a community. But we've lost that due to so many reasons. Like if it's, like for example, for technology, I think in the pandemic, there were community pantries, there were all of these Zoom stuff. But in the heart of it, we may have gotten so used to grabbing and Food Panda and Lazada and Shopee.
I'm guilty. I do my grocery online.
Yeah, right? Which is not so terrible, but you realize that in the olden times, people used to do errands together.
I know. And you lose the experience. I was called out about that last night. Like I said, I do my grocery online because I get lazy. And then my mom just says, but grocery is so fun. Like she said, it's so fun to have a list. And then you go and check whatever is new in the grocery. And, I was reminded, like, I used to love going to the grocery. What made me not want to go to the grocery anymore?
It's like there's a very potent love of convenience that we have. And I feel like it has at least my generation on a chokehold where it just seeps through, because friends are inconvenient. Right? Parang relationships are inconvenient because sometimes they will let you down and they will hurt you and they will betray you. And our coping mechanism for that, unfortunately, has been, ako na lang. Parang,
Mag-isa na lang ako.
Yeah. Mag-isa na lang ako.
Okay, so when you shared that, what did you think? How do you think people will react to that? So are you trying to say that you should not have that mentality or you should have that mentality?
I think with my content, I tend to go not backwards, against the flow of of
Mm.
society.
Not the norm.
Not the norm. Well, obviously, because that's where the Bible is.
Yeah,
That's the
okay.
direction that the Bible is going. And so that's the direction that I will go. So, for example, I've talked so much about friendship, and obviously, like, I super believe in having boundaries and
Yeah,
changing your accessibility to people who have hurt you and abused you,
of
right?
course.
But because friendships are inconvenient, cutting people off, has, I guess, turned off a part in our heart
Mm.
to give people second chances and to be able to forgive. And even for you to be able to overlook, the people, like the offenses of the people that you love. And that's something that I want to bring back.
Oh, so you believe in second chances?
I believe in forgiveness. That's what I'm gonna say for sure. And these two don't negate each other, but I do believe in rebuilding trust. But I also do believe in changing boundaries. So both are okay. There's this quote that I really like where it says, um, "Trust is earned in drops and lost in buckets."
Wow. Okay. Please expound. Please expound that for me.
No, so it, like, when somebody hurts you, it's like all of your trust is poured out, and that has to be earned again.
Yeah.
So when I
Oh, for it
say
to be filled, it
Yeah.
has to. Okay. Okay.
So when I say that I want people to not cut people off, that's not necessarily meaning I want everybody to have full buckets right away and like
Yeah.
go back to the way that it was. But I'm saying, what if instead of cutting off everybody in our life who has hurt us, which will leave you with no one, maybe we can try to put one drop back in the bucket. Maybe we can try to put two drops back in the bucket and try to build that up again so that we're not an isolated community. We're not a people who, I love being by myself. I love being by myself. But we're not, I love me time. Okay. I'm not saying anything against me time. But I just want to be a community that loves other people. I think that's all I want to bring back.
I think
I
you're
want,
just a loving person in
yeah,
general.
and I feel like we're missing out so much on what life is supposed to be, if we just do it alone all the time. Yeah.
Parang less exciting ba? Pag lagi na lang ganun yung mentality mo.
Yeah.
Pinapaisip mo rin ako in fairness naman sa'yo. Kasi ako ang thinking ko naman magkaiba. Ako
Yeah.
naman, you break my trust, goodbye.
Yeah.
Like, I won't even think. Like, you can do it again. Iba naman ang mindset ko. But then again, we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, of course, it's a case-to-case basis.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Okay, so do you think that it's always strength or it can sometimes be a trauma response? Kasi
Oh
diba
my gosh,
minsan ang
yeah.
mga tao kapag you're closed off, it's more of like it's based on something that happened to you and you don't want it to happen to you again. Chances are it's always trauma response. Diba? Chances are ako ganun eh.
Yeah, I think it's almost always trauma response naman. But there's always a lot of wisdom that comes out of trauma responses. And I think that is the strength to realize when it's a trauma response and when
Yeah.
it's a strength. Because there are people in my life that wala na talaga, girl. Like, pang ilan na to?
Oo,
Like,
oo. Medyo
I've
strike
tried.
5 ka na.
Yeah.
Out ka na talaga.
Like, girl, it takes two naman to tango talaga. Parang I'm not gonna force it if the person is not willing to change and to work with me. But yeah, like I said, it is a trauma response nga because and I can't and it's so valid. Like, of course, if you're betrayed, like I've been betrayed by so many.
Yes, I think we've all been betrayed by a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's more of lang, actually it's the strength of accepting them back eh. Mas yun.
Yeah.
Kasi yung letting go, medyo kaya mo naman talaga yun pag sinaktan ka ng isang tao eh. It's when you make that decision to take them back. I feel there's a certain type of strength.
It's different. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah.
And I know that it's insane to be saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, and if you know, and if you know what I've been through, it sounds even more insane. But I watched this reel recently that really spoke to me, and it said like everybody has been through something, and it doesn't give you an excuse to act the way that you do. And so it spoke to me, and obviously that's the algorithm that I have. It's like, oh damn, okay, I gotta be a better
I
person.
can just imagine what your algorithm is. Oh my God.
It's kind of crazy. But it really spoke to me because I was like, okay, it's not an excuse that this has happened to me because so much has happened to everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's not really about what happens to you, but it is really how you respond to what happens to you,
Yeah.
right? We always say that. And so again, I'm not an automatically loving person. I think I just choose to not be a hateful person. And that's a daily decision for my sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because hate can really deteriorate your mental health, your
Your
emotional
peace.
health, your peace, your body. And so, if I can say, it's not really about accepting them back. I feel like it's about not holding a grudge against the person for your peace,
Yeah.
for
Amen.
your
That I
sake.
agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I became a hateful person at one time, and I became so angry at the world. I was so angry at everyone. And it kind of nag-spill over sa mga relationships ko. And I didn't like who I became.
Yeah.
And when I came to terms with that and let that go, that I found peace again, I also became a totally different person. Life was easier. Waking up was easier, sleeping was easier, relationships were better. So I do believe that it's true that when you have so much anger in your heart, it really manifests in all forms in your
Yeah.
life. Yourself, most especially, and your relationships.
And I think it's really great that you honored that process, no? Because it we can't we can't pretend like the anger doesn't exist. But we have to understand that anger is a secondary emotion, meaning the anger is this, but it's covering, it's hiding the sadness, the disappointment, the betrayal. So this has to be processed. The anger has to be processed, and after that, you'll find really the root pain that you carry. But again, that is a long process that you have this to decide to take, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time in your life that that was tested?
Oh my gosh, all the time. Even now.
Yeah.
Like I don't wanna I when people listen to this, I don't want people to think like, wow, Janine has no hate and anger in her body.
She's such a happy person
No,
who loves
I'm not.
everyone. Yeah.
I'm like a super crazy emotional person who has to release a grudge every day. That's really like, and I think maybe that's why I translate to the camera as happy, because that is a constant decision that I have to make.
Yeah.
Where I'll remember, oh, I can't believe they did that to me.
Yeah,
It's okay. All is well.
We all have those moments.
Yeah,
I
and
have
it's
that in the
human.
shower. I
Yeah.
remember every single person who've hurt me in the shower, and when I come out of the shower, I'm mad again.
Yeah.
It's when you're actually alone and you're alone with your thoughts.
Yeah.
You remember everything. That's why I'm afraid to be alone. I think that's one thing. I've said this many times on my podcast. Like I'm afraid whenever every time I'm alone. Because I remembered things that I thought I have forgiven or I have forgotten, and then it comes back. Well, speaking of forgiving and forgetting, since I brought it up, what is harder for you? Forgiving or forgetting?
Girl, my memory is actually really bad.
That could be a good trait.
It could also be a trauma response.
Yeah, that could be a trauma response. My mom has that problem.
Really, no,
My
it's-
mom has selective memory.
Yeah, it's fully like I feel like I block things out of my brain now. I think I don't know. I don't know if I will fully believe in forgiving and forgetting. I know that's like ironic based on everything that I've said. It's like, girl, where san ka ba?
Talaga? Oh my
No,
God.
it's okay. If I can, I think, forgiveness, I think is what I mentioned. It's choosing to not hold the offense against the person anymore. Not holding it against them and not holding on to it. So, you know how we always say like forgiveness is more for you than it is for the other person. I super believe that. Where if you need to think about protecting your peace, and if that's a thing that gets you to forgive, then so be it. Do I think that people should forget? No.
You can never. Right?
No. I don't think so, because everything that I've been through and everything that I remember has made me the person I am today, right?
Yes.
It has made me this nuanced, complex person who has the correct boundaries now, and who has, and who knows when it is a trauma response, and who knows when I am healthy enough to let this person back in my life, and to also know when I'm not healthy enough to try again. So I don't think that forgetting is the greatest option, because you're right back to where you started.
Yeah.
I
Parang walang growth.
Yeah, parang I don't want to be naive. I want to be forgiving but learned.
No,
If that makes
wow.
sense.
I like that. I like that. Because I think we want to forget.
Yeah.
Because when we remember, the feelings come back.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to forgive. So when you remember, because you're never going to forget it, especially if it's a part of your trauma or something that you still deal with. You're never going to forget it. But it's like when you remember, you react differently.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when we think of the bad things that have happened to us, when we remember it, the feelings come back. You know, that's how I knew I forgave. Because when I remembered it, or when I saw the person again, I reacted differently. I was
Wow.
more at peace. I could face the person and say hi to the person again. I could actually have a conversation with that person without feeling angry anymore. That's how I knew, oh, I really na-forgive ko na
Wow.
talaga yung tao. Kasi na-experience ko rin na pag nakita ko siya, lalayo ako kasi umiinit na naman yung dugo ko, nagagalit na naman ako. So alam ko na hindi ko pa nakakalimutan yung pain or hindi ko pa siya na-forgive sa ginawa niya sa akin. That's how I knew na, okay, I'm okay with this person. Like, I can actually see you and not feel any hate
Wow.
or anger.
That's
Ba?
powerful.
Growth yun. That's how I
Yeah.
knew, ay, girl, nag-mature ka na. Sabi ko sa sarili ko.
And it's like, even if you don't feel angry towards that person, it doesn't mean that that person is gonna be in the same position in your life again. You know, now, because that's the point of being learned. Like, okay, I'm not gonna hold it against you, but you're also not gonna be buddy buddy with me anymore.
Yes.
And
I'm
that's
not welcoming you
okay.
back.
Yeah, that's okay.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So, I have a last question for you. So you
Last na, sarap ng usapan eh.
last pang usapan natin eh. Alam mo, dapat ata pag episode kay Janina, mga 2 hours talaga eh. So, you've been on your online journey for 11 years.
Yeah.
Did it feel so fast for you? Oh my God, 11 years.
Yes and no.
That's like on your, lahat ng prime years mo online ka, no? Grabe. Okay,
Traumatizing.
so what has the online world taught you? Kung meron man, what's one truth about people, connection, and growth? Ano yung isang natutunan mo sa 11 years that you've been doing content creation?
Oh gosh. I feel like I have to summarize this properly.
I know.
This is 15
Kahit
years
ako,
old to
iniisip
20.
ko nga ngayon, ano ba? Kasi ako mas matagal na ako sa'yo. So I'm in my mind, like,
Dapat may sagot ka din.
oo nga eh, dapat may sagot din ako. Mapag-isip nga ako right now.
I think,
Ako, ang one, probably would, talagang you cannot, one thing I had to come to terms with, that you really cannot please everyone. Kahit anong i-share mo, kahit anong magandang gawin mo sa mundo, the chances are most of them are really gonna disagree with you for the heck of just not liking you. And for me to be more secure and to learn how to validate myself, because seeking validation from people that don't know, you've never met, you have never really experienced your journey. Parang napagod ako to one point na kailangan ko ba talaga yung validation nyo or paakin lang ba yun? Yung ang dami kong na-realize sa journey ko na ba't ko ba to ginagawa? Until I found my purpose. Until I found na, okay, this is where God put me. Ever since we started this podcast and we really saw how much people we've reached and how much people we've helped. And that's the only time I realized, okay, I'm meant to do this platform the way I'm doing it, by speaking from my heart and sharing my own personal experiences. Whatever stand I have, I get to share it. Wala akong fear in my heart if ma-cancel ako or not. Just as long as it's my truth. It's how I live. Wala akong tinatapakan na tao, okay ako. I'm good. Wala na yung fear na yun sa heart ko. And I think doon ako naging responsible sa sense na I'm using this platform properly. Because at one point, I was also using it for validation. I wanted people to like what I was wearing, what I was doing, how I looked. All yung outer, yes. So now it's more meaningful. Now I saw that I've been doing this for so long because this is really where I'm supposed to be. And I just have to use it properly and honor God along the way.
Yeah.
Yan. How about you?
Me, if I could, I'll try to land it. and summarize also with everything that we've talked about.
Yes.
Something that I've learned is that there's always two sides to a story. And that's from even sharing my life online. I've been with I've had my own love teams.
No.
And I've had online best friendships. I've had, certain barcadas in my life, even in my private life, and even dealing with other influencers. Um, I try to go about everything with so much empathy because my experience is not their experience. And there's always something happening behind the closed doors that I will never understand.
Yeah, or we'll never know.
And we'll never know, right? Like, I have assumed the wrong things about so many people, and I have been humbled immensely when I found out the truth of, what happened.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like my emotions are truth. My emotions are valid, but they're not always truth.
Truth, yes.
And I've had to listen to the other side to be able to understand that. Oh, girl, you're not the main character. It's not all about you. And also, off like skirting a little bit, also understanding that other people have gone through things that have made them act the way that they do, rather. Where thank God I don't understand why they would do that to me. Thank God I don't understand what made them decide to do that. But I think it helps me live with a little more peace that sometimes it's not about me. Sometimes the things that the words that they have chosen to say, the friendships that they chose to break.
Yes.
There's a lot more going on
Yeah, internally. Sa kanila.
internally. And it's not always about me. And I think that's lifted such a weight off my chest in the way that I deal with people. And I guess that's why I sound crazy thinking like I can forgive and like, let's build communities again. Because I have cultivated such a deep relationship with myself. And I know me, and I know when I do things, was that really you, or was that 2016 when this guy did this to you?
Yeah. Yeah, they tend to go back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so it's also that's also the strength again from trauma response, or is that really you?
Yes.
So understanding that it's not just one dimensional, that if you choose to see it, the world is so complex, and that's really what's gonna make you grow as a person and grow in wisdom. And I think that's my constant journey, like forever till the end of time. I'm sure
Yeah.
even when I'm a senior, I'll be like, it's okay, she did this because possibly da 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 da. Because I'm not an automatically like a loving, forgiving person, but I just don't want to be a hateful person.
Yeah.
And I think the way through that to that is empathy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I think you're gonna make a lot of people think, because you made me think, honestly, because I also have to come to terms with a lot of things that I still deal with, especially with forgiveness. I struggle with that till this day. But I love that you've shared the peace that it comes with it. So I think it's possible, because I feel that if I come to terms with that emotion, maybe I can find peace in some things that I still struggle with. Kaya sabi ko, hindi rin talaga ako nagmamalinis. I can't really educate or tell people na this is what you have to do. Kasi kahit ako, I'm still trying to figure it out. It's more of just going through it and letting you know that it's possible to have peace, and it's also okay if you still struggle with it. No one's rushing you. No, you don't have to do it when just because somebody did it right now or nagawa na nila, kailangan ikaw din ngayon. I think forgiveness takes time. So thank you for that. Thank you for the insights you've shared today, and thank you for your time, Janina.
Of course, I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you very much.
I'm so bitten.
I know. Kailangan ng kailangan ng part 2 natin to talaga.
For sure.
Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!